Aries, welcome to your September 2019 General Tarot reading. It's Raina here. I felt like Avon calling. I don't know why. Do you ever like just out of nowhere have, some kind of like commercial come into your mind, like a jingle or something? I'm so afraid that, we take these into the afterlife, these jingles and stuff. And they'll just come into my mind out of nowhere. Okay, you got some great cards here. The heart of the matter is the Ten of Cups. I mean, the first thing that comes to mind is marriage. This is a family harmony. So if you are already married or connected to someone at a deep level, and maybe, something as simple as working a different job that is making it so that you can spend more time with your family. I was going to say having a vacation. I don't know how many families have vacations in September, but just anything that feels like you're connected to somebody emotionally at the highest level. So this could be planning a marriage, getting married, moving in with someone, so you're going to be sharing a life with somebody. In the past position, we have the King of Wands. I always think this is you. I don't know if this is supposed to be Leo or you or who. No, I think it might be supposed to be Sagittarius. This is fire energy for sure. Now, this could be the person that you have gotten involved with. Now, if this is some kind of a situation where you've gotten a, what do you call it, like a promotion, and maybe you are in charge of a department or something like that, that can bring celebration to your family because you're probably thinking, wow, now we're going to have more money. We're going to be, maybe you're going to feel happier because you are in a position where you can call the shots. This is kind of what Aries is all about. It's very hard for you to take orders. So there might be cause for celebration in September for some reason. And the higher message is, I keep doing that, the Seven of Wands. Now, in this particular context, I mean, there's a possibility that you got where you are because you defended yourself, because you didn't allow somebody to walk all over you. So if this is a workplace situation, I'm trying to stabilize this more. You may have felt like you were being treated disrespectfully, not given your proper due, and you just chose to fight back. Aries is a fighter, and you are the kind of person that doesn't shy away from a fight. But it's also possible that as the higher message, this is something that you need to work on. If you have a tendency to be defensive and take offense at things that you shouldn't, Aries is a very volatile sign. Fire energy tends to be very fiery. So it tends to have a bit of drama. When something comes up, an earth sign person just kind of tries to deal with it practically. A fire sign person may kind of like make hay over it. And so I can see both sides. I can see that, if you've recently entered a new position, you're going to have to face the fact that you, even as a boss, if you will, that you could receive criticism or some other kind of negative feedback, and you have to be able to take the heat, pardon the pun, where you're able to do something constructive in response to somebody who is trying to maybe push your buttons, because that they know that they can, so it's one of those spiritual lessons that you might have to learn. Although, as I said, this could be that you succeeded precisely because you stood up for yourself. What crosses you is the Magician card, and usually I found out recently that Aries is connected to this card. I always thought it was Gemini, and I think Gemini is as well in a different sense. But this is, and then I saw number 1, I'm like, duh, the first house and stuff like that. But the Magician card in the upright position is feeling self-empowered in your life. Now, for instance, if there is something going on with workplace matters, you may feel like you can't do it by yourself. And there might be reasons for this. There may be things that have happened in the past that have gotten you into a state where, like the King of Wands, it's a double masculine energy. So it has that alpha male power behind it, which is basically like taking life, by its horns and not settling for less in life and going for things. Being that fearless leader and things like that. But with the Magician, it's like feeling that you can't do this on your own, that you need, it could be like a sense of like even dependency for some reason. I can't say why that would be, because usually Aries people are not like this. It might be that it's kind of like where, this is a possibility where you're getting this promotion and you're thinking, wow, this is great, but it's still not going to really necessarily be what you need ultimately, because it still may not give you the freedom that you thought you were going to get. So the point being that if you're looking for autonomy, you might have to work for yourself to really fully realize that. And as long as you're okay with that and you're not kind of like operating under any delusions or illusions, I think you're going to be fine. The problem is that Aries is so idealistic and you get so carried away that you may fail to realize what this really entails, and may not realize that this is not as hunky-dory a situation as you thought it was. And yet, there may be great cause for celebration. I think that's kind of true of life in general, is that, there's different shades of, not of gray, but of, there's different levels of happiness and different levels of a good, situation for an individual. And just because you've arrived at one level doesn't mean there's not room for improvement, you know what I mean? So looking at it from that perspective. What's coming in is represented by the Wheel of Fortune. This means that your cycle is here for abundance and alignment in general. So being at the right place at the right time and having things, kind of just gel. We have times where things are just kind of like flowing really well, and other times where it takes more effort. And so this can be great for you if you are celebrating. If the Ten of Cups is you celebrating some kind of a job promotion, then that can be really great for you. If this is like your personal life, things are moving very nicely as well, and that feels good to you, because perhaps you have experienced disappointment in love, and you are somebody, I think fire signs are romantic, and this is something that you certainly would want in your life. The outcome is the Six of Pentacles, and this is the person who has the means giving to those in need. Sometimes this can be inheritance. Sometimes this can be, you're helping out your family or you're being helped out, although I don't think in this particular case you're being helped out. I do think if this is a workplace situation that this is you getting what you deserve. So financial compensation being what it should be rather than unfair in some way. Maybe this is something you have faced in the past and now you're getting treated better and paid better. I sure hope so. Okay, and even in if you've recently gotten married or moved in with somebody, you're going to have a relationship where both people are contributing to the relationship. I'm not talking about financially, although that can sometimes be part of it, but I'm talking about in terms of the energy that they put into it. That's what the Pentacles can mean at a higher level is energy. That's why we call it currency, money, because it's a form of energy that is materialized from all the work that somebody did. Okay, so I'm going to pick a card from the Earth Magic deck to round off the reading. Oh, it's funny. Sometimes I'll get the same one for multiple signs. I think I got this just now for another sign. So, oh well. Such is life. I just like the variety of getting different ones. The lethargy you feel is a result of a lack of activation. In other words, something that stirs your senses. And that's that's a good way of putting the Magician in the challenge position, is a lack of activation. Activation to me is always coming from our own willingness to take charge of our life. So in other words, it's not waiting for somebody to do something for us or make the path easier, but it's like getting up and doing something for yourself. As I stated before, I think Aries is a very motivational sign. So it could be that this is only applying to some Aries, especially if you have inner planets in Pisces or the moon in Pisces. You could have that sense of learned helplessness from the past that when I say the inner planets, if it's not the moon, then Mercury, Venus, and or Mars in Pisces. And that can make you a more reticent type of an Aries, or if your sun is in the 12th house, that too, where you are more vulnerable to feeling like life is happening to you, that you're a victim, and being less inclined to take action. This lethargy you feel is the result of a lack of activation. In other words, something that stirs your senses. This could be anything from walking outside, feeling the breeze on your body, or inhaling the different aromas that nature herself provides. Or it could be finding the pleasure in a warm bath that helps you to release the tension and stress from your mind and body. Music may activate your hearing, which sparks the pleasure centers in your brain. Art may activate your emotional responses. The touch of another human may activate the deep need to be physically held in some manner once again. Now is the time for action. Engage in some activity and be fully present so that you forget about your surroundings and enter into that timeless and multi-dimensional experience of union with the forces of your creative attention. Let your physical body be active. Movement alone, whether quietly dancing by yourself or hiking up that hill over yonder, will require you to be as present as possible in your body. Enjoy. Okay, that's what I have for you, Aries, and I hope that you enjoyed this. If you'd like a personal reading, the link is below. My website is rainamoonastrology.com. Take care. Bye.